I am your host, Keith Andrew, along here with Mr. Ryan, and so I say, Ryan Scharoun. How do you pronounce your last name? Scharoun. It's Ryan Scharoun, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Nice, thanks for having me, man.
Now, for people who want to know what uncensored is, uncensored's my way, showing people that even with a learning disability, I can overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, turn myself into a perfect example for people out there deaf, blind, or in a wheelchair. You should never label yourself or have people label you, and you should prove to them you can still amount to something no matter what. Now, like I said, a half-hour, 45-minute conversation. You can say anything you want. You can call me an asshole for messing up your last name.
Nice.
But it's completely whatever you want to do.
Awesome, that sounds good.
So, starting off, what can you tell me about yourself?
Let's see. I'm from Florida originally, living in LA right now, and I've been out here for, it'll be 11 years coming up this year, a little later on this year, which is crazy. And been acting out here for that long, and acted out in Florida for a couple years before that. But I don't know, man. Having fun. Everything's going well, and I'm really excited about 2015.
That's true. I am as well. Hopefully my talk show takes off.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned you were from Florida originally and now to LA. It's a true... what's your opinion? Is it true that you find more hot girls in LA or Florida?
Well, I met my wife in Florida before we started dating, and then we re-met out here. So I would say it's pretty equal. I'd say there's a lot in Florida and Los Angeles.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, how did you get started with your acting career, and was there anyone who influenced you?
I got started, I went to Florida State University in Tallahassee, and I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do, and so I went to the Career Center and was looking through what I could major in, and I settled on public relations, but it gave me a little free time because I had already had some of the classes done, and so I minored in theater, and so I started taking some acting classes in improv, and I really loved it, especially the improv class, and so we, me and a friend, it was more him than me, he kind of asked me to jump along with him, but we started an improv team out in Tallahassee called Oncoming Traffic, and ever since then, I feel like I just kind of got bit by the acting bug. I always loved it, and it's just really fun to perform, and there's really nothing else I'd rather do. So that's kind of how I got started. And then when I graduated, I moved to Orlando and got an agent and started, getting my feet wet, sort of professionally out there, you could say. And it was a good place to learn the business in Florida. But yeah, that's how I got started.
No, that's true. I have a similar story. When I was back in a sophomore year, 2004, one movie that influenced my life was Almost Famous.
Oh, nice.
And since then, I wanted to be a personal assistant or roadie, going on tour with a band. Unfortunately, never worked out. But
it's still, man.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was saying it still can. You can still do it. There's still time.
Hey, if you're looking for a personal assistant and roadie, maybe you can hook me up.
Nice. All right, yeah. When I need one, I'll let you know.
And then you mentioned the acting and the acting bug. I wouldn't say I was bitten by the acting bug, but I say I was influenced by 2010. I came across this USA show, and I came across Suits.
Oh, yeah.
And I just fell in love with it. I always wanted Harvey Specter as a boss, have Rachel as a girlfriend.
Nice.
And, I just fell in love with the show, and I was like, this is exactly what I want to do. Unfortunately, that didn't work out because it was too much money to working on the acting.
Right.
Now, that brings up my next question. How much money did you have to pay for your acting classes, and how did everything come about for you?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, I don't know if I could give you a figure on that because it's been so long. I started back in 2002, and I've been in and out of so many classes just trying to stay fresh and keep learning. So it's really expensive, but it's worth it. It's just like starting up any other business. You gotta put in the time and the money, and your investment will come back to you. But I have no idea, man. Between like headshots and websites and classes, and it's a lot of money, but it's all worth it.
That's true. Now, like I said, it's a normal conversation, so you can ask me anything you want. You can say anything you want. So is there any subjects you're passionate about, or do you have any questions you wanted to talk about?
I don't. You said Suits was your show that kind of got you that maybe started acting. What shows you watch right now that are going well?
Let's see. I watch.
Got a kitty cat walking in here.
Not a problem. Well, first off, I say this to everyone, but that's why I'm just having an off day. I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you. I sort of said that when I introduced you, so just throwing it out there. Don't mind me. I don't do interviews a lot, so it's kind of like I have a brain fart here and there.
Nice.
But TV show-wise, I would say Blue Bloods.
Okay.
Grimm. Let's see. Blue Bloods, Grimm, Hawaii Five-0, occasionally NCIS LA.
Yeah.
Sometimes Royal Pain.
Uh-huh.
But the other big show I really liked was around Rescue Me.
Oh, yeah. I watched a couple episodes of that. It was Dennis Leary, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a pretty good show. Is that still on? Is that still going?
No, they ended about 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm a big fan of Blue Bloods. I like Danny Wahlberg and the guy from Magnum P.I.
Uh-huh.
Also, 5-0 was good, too.
Nice.
What about yourself?
Let's see. I was watching Sons of Anarchy was my biggest one. That one was great. That just ended last month. And then what else? What else are we watching? We watch a lot of Jeopardy. It's like you would think by what we watch we were an elderly couple, but we watch Jeopardy, a lot of HGTV. But as far as like series, Sons of Anarchy was big. We watched. We got into Friday Night Lights. We haven't finished it yet. Really like Deadwood. Trying to think of what's on right now that we watch. There's not. I'm looking to get into a new show right now, so hopefully something will pop up this year that we'll get into.
Well, if you're into the whole Netflix thing, there is a new Netflix series coming out of Daredevil.
Oh yeah.
I don't know when it's supposed to air, but I know it's supposed to be on Netflix.
Okay, nice. Who's it? What's it? Do you know what it's about?
I have no idea. I just know it's Daredevil.
Nice. Cool. I'll look into it. That sounds good.
Now, just between us, between guys, do you occasionally watch Telemundo for those hot girls?
I haven't watched. No, I haven't. No, that's pretty funny though. Maybe I should. I'll pick up a little Spanish along the way too.
Also, you mentioned that you're married, if you don't mind me for asking. I would love to have your wife on the talk show. What does she do?
She works at a company called All Care in Glendale. So she's on the software side. She's a software technician. So her hours are a lot different than mine. My hours are all over the place, and she's a solid. She leaves around 7:30. 7:45 in the morning. She'll get home around like 7:30 at night. So she's out most of the time, but she likes her job. She's really good at it. She's really good at problem solving, and so she's got a really good job, which is nice.
Well, she's more than welcome. I'm always looking for people.
Nice. Okay, cool. I'll let her know.
Or if you have any cute girls that you know, same thing. I'm always looking.
All right.
Yeah, I want to get your opinion on something. I was recently interviewed on a New York City talk show, and I said I interviewed a handful of white people, black people, Asian, Spanish, Latina, doesn't matter. And it's like, oh, what is next for? And you can listen to, and for you and everyone listening, go to the KeithAndrewNetWork.com and you can listen to it. It's by Mark Maloney. I don't know if you heard of him, but it's Mike or Mark Maloney. He's from the Reading Circle. And he said, what is next for the Keith Andrew Network? And I said, well, to be honest, when I was in high school, I used to dress wink gothic. Hey, why not interview some gothic girls?
Nice. Yeah.
And now the question I was going to ask you is, do you think that's, because right now people say it's professional what I'm doing, do you think I should continue and look for anyone and everyone, or do you think it's by interviewing gothic girls is kind of gotta be a downgrade?
No, I think you should definitely go for anybody and everybody. Because if you do that, then who knows, you might find a cool little segment that you never thought, that nobody's kind of covered before.
That's true.
Yeah, it's always good to branch out and just get other people on. Yeah, I'd say go for it, man.
While on the subject, most of the subjects, if I hesitate, I apologize.
Sure.
Season 1, I just went for everything, talked about technology, torture, legalizing marijuana, just all these other things. Do you think, do you have any other subjects that you think would be good to talk about, or do you think I have mostly covered most of them? Like you said it's always good to be fresh, but when you cover, everything, it's kind of like, how is it any different than another show?
Right. It's a good question. I don't know if I know how to answer that one. I don't know. I guess it's kind of the same as I was thinking before. If you keep keep staying current on some topics, you might just find one where you're like, you know what? Every time I talk about this one particular subject, it seems to go really, really well. So maybe I can kind of focus more on that and do the bulk of my interviews on that. Or, you might find a subject and like, never going to talk about that again. That was awful.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
On the subject of hot girls, have you ever been like an extra or secondary star and you had to make out with your castmates, or you never gotten that opportunity?
Yeah, I've had to do that before. When I first moved out here, I had to do. I was a featured extra in a pilot, so it was nothing. It wasn't like a huge deal, but it was a nice paycheck for the day. But I was playing the younger version of the guy who was actually in the show, and so the scene was when him and his wife met. And so when they met, they like instantly fell in love, and we had to have like this fun little kissy scene that we did. That was fun. But that's the only one I can think of offhand. Usually when people have been calling me in lately, it's been more of like cops and lawyers and paramedics. So I'm always the guy helping the people lately.
Now, what's you doing that kissy scene? Does your girlfriend or wife get jealous, or it's like, oh, that's a job, keep it professional?
Yeah, she knows it's all professional, and she's fine with it. Yeah, because she knows exactly what it is, and it's just a job. It's all professional, and at the end, at the end of the scene, everybody knows it's just a scene. That's it. So.
What other shows have you been an extra on, and what were your favorites and not so favorites extras that you had to do?
Gosh, that's a tough one. I haven't done a lot of extra work. I did that when I first moved out here, like 11 years ago, 10 or 11 years ago, because it was so hard to get a job. So it's good to go out and do, like 6 months or a year of extra work and kind of get your feet wet and see how a huge professional set works and just see how everything works on a set. And you're in the background, so it's easier for you, and you can do a lot of observing and not have to be so focused on the scene because you don't really have a scene. Most of them you're a party goer or you're on a bus or something like that. So it's a really neat thing. I don't remember most of them because they're so long ago, but they were all fun. I can't remember any of them not being fun. And like I was saying, they were all like a really good learning opportunity because I got to talk to a lot of people on set and see how sets worked out here with bigger budgets. So I would say they're all good.
Now, you mentioned sets out here. Did you ever get the chance to be an actor in Florida, or were you just based in LA?
Out in Florida, when I was there, it was a lot of commercial work. So we when I was there, that was 2002 to 2004. So when we got a television or a film audition, we get like 3 of those a year, and you're like, wow, this is awesome. And there wasn't much because I was in Orlando, so we'd have to go down to Miami or up to Wilmington, North Carolina. Those were kind of the 2 we'd have to go to. So when I was in Florida, it was mainly doing commercials and industrials, which was great. It was really fun. But of course now there's so much going on out there because people can submit themselves on tape, and there's so many shows filming out in the Southeast right now. So like Walking Dead and Friday Night Lights, when that was filming, was out in Texas. So Atlanta's got a lot going on right now. New Orleans, North Carolina, Miami, Texas. So the Southeast really has a good thing going on right now. But unfortunately, when I was there, it wasn't that crazy. It was kind of quiet. But yeah, so it was mostly commercials when I was there.
Well, you mentioned Portland. Maybe you can be again. I don't know, one of those. Trying to find the word. Guggensteigers or Blue Plots on Grimm.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good to me, man. I'll do that. Yeah.
It's funny. I recently did an interview with someone from Portland, and I'll tell you a funny story about same thing about Portland. I also came across this woman. She's an agent for Hawaii Five-0. She said, you're perfect for the shot. We would love to have you on the show. Oh, that's great. I'm a big fan of 5-0. Where are you guys located? Hawaii.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, you guys, wait, you want me to fly down to Hawaii for an interview, and then I fly back, and it's kind of like, can we do it like this? This is so much easier. Right. And it's like, no, well, if you want to be on the show, you have to come down to Hawaii. And it's kind of like, and the same thing with Portland. It's you want to be on the show, you have to live in Portland.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. They're filming so many shows in different places now, and they're pulling a lot of talent from right around the area. But sometimes they'll fly in like the bigger rolled characters from LA, which is nice. But most of the time they're pulling from right around them, which is nice for people who live right around there.
That's true. Like, for example, Suits. You would think when they do the city shots, they were in the city. I always thought they were from Manhattan. But then I recently found out they were based in Toronto. And it's like, oh, it looks like Manhattan. So.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you was there any famous stars you got the chance to work with, or you do want to work with when you have the chance?
Yes. Yes and yes. My list of who I want to work with is bigger than who I've worked with, but let's see. One of the first things I did was a role on CSI Miami that filmed out here, so I got to work with David Caruso, and he was super, super nice. That was the first show I had booked in Los Angeles, and I was really excited. And going into it, I was pretty nervous. And he was super friendly, and wanted to make sure that I was comfortable with everything. And it was my first real experience with working alongside a huge star, and he couldn't be friendlier. So that was nice. And I did. Do you remember that show? What was the name of it? It had Ellen Barkin in it, and I got to work with her, and she was also so nice. And I can't remember the name of the show. I'm sure I'll remember it as soon as we're done. But as far as who I'd love to work with, anything Rob Zombie or Quentin Tarantino does, or Kurt Sutter, I'd like to be involved in anything they do. That'd be really nice. And as far as actors go, there's so many. So I'll just go ahead and say, whoever wants to work with me. There's so many great actors I'd love to work with.
What now? Let's change that over to actresses. Any famous actresses you got the chance to work with or would love to work with?
Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any. I get to work with Susan Lucci on All My Children, and being a guy in my 30s, I hadn't really watched any soap operas before, but I was pretty excited going in because I knew who Susan Lucci was, so that was exciting. And she was another one where she was just so friendly and so nice, and made it just a really, really fun day. So that was awesome. Always wanted to work with Laura Linney or Judi Dench. Would be pretty amazing to work with. I'd say those are probably my top two that I'd love to work with.
Well, on the subject, favorite actresses I would love to interview, I would say Halle Berry, Jessica Alba, Lucy Liu,
nice,
Michelle Rodriguez,
nice.
What was it? Megan Fox. Just like anyone good, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, as far as the guys go, George Carlin, Dennis Leary, if you're still alive, Robin Williams. There's just a bunch of them, but hopefully.
Yeah.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, you mentioned you were from Orlando while you taped from Orlando, Florida. Did you ever go into TNA wrestling, or a wrestling fan?
No, my sister was a big wrestling fan. She was a big Stone Cold Steve Austin fan back in the day. But I never got into it, so yeah, I never went and saw any of that stuff. I had a lot of friends who were into it. I don't know, I never really watched it, so I never got into it.
And now it's kind of, what was good was Hogan and Brett, and during the 90s, the WWF versus WCW.
Yeah.
Then they went to the whole TV 14, and everyone got so used to it. Now that they're going back to PG, and they're like, I don't know, they think they're hypocrites because there's this one scene where Melina and Mickey James get into a fight, and they got pulled away, and Melina says, I'm a true champion, you whore. And then the next scene, now compared to later on, they're doing PG, and it's kind of like, wait, weren't you just doing this a few years ago? And now you're trying to cater, and especially with the blood, when someone's bleeding, okay, no, whatever. But now when there's blood on the screen, they turn it black to white, and it's kind of like, it's just blood. It's normal. So why do you have to make a big deal of it?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't think it's TB-14 or PG, but it's all about writing and direction. But I think when you have an audience that gets used to something, it's kind of hard to win them back over.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, do you have any funny stories that happened to you over the years, or funny pranks that you did?
Let's see. Most of my pranks were in college. Trying to think. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. And I don't know why, because I know we do a lot of pranks to people, but I just can't remember them. I can think of like a little tiny one. We usually do, over Easter, we usually get a bunch of friends together and go to this huge Easter brunch. It's all-you-can-eat food, all-you-can-eat champagne. And a buddy of mine got a Bloody Mary. And so he left the table, and we dumped it out and filled it with cocktail sauce and water. And then watched him take about 4 or 5 sips before he realized that he was just drinking cocktail sauce and not his Bloody Mary. But that was just a little tiny one. That was fun.
I got not really a lot happened to me. Just stupid things. Like, there's this Italian restaurant, and they have something called shrimp and a lobster, 2 separate things. You can either get shrimp or you can get lobster brisk. So when the guy's like, yeah, can I take your order? Yeah, can I get the chicken mouse sour or whatever? And for soup, can I get the lobster bitch? It's like, excuse me? Yeah, it says it right here, lobster bitch. It says brisk.
Nice.
The other thing I did was I thought it said mouse. It said MOUSSE. And I was like, why does mouse have an extra S in it? Okay. Then I found out it said moose. So when the guy said, I can't take your order, yes, can I get the chocolate mouse cake? Yeah, there's the other time I got in someone else's car by accident.
Wait, what?
At that time, we walked out. Not the mouse incident, but the first time when the lobster.
Okay, sure.
And we were walking out, and me, my sister, and my brother took 2 cars. And so we were going back to my sister's car, and she had a white car at the time. So it was a white car, 4 white cars in the same area. And I said, is this your car? Yes. You positive? Yes. How can you tell? There are 4 white cars. How the hell can you tell which one's yours? I'm telling you, this one's mine. Okay. Grab the handle. Handle's kind of different. Nah, it's cold outside. It's probably nothing. Open the door, got back in, slammed the door, put the seatbelt on. It's kind of cramped back here. That's okay. I can ask my brother to move up the seat. And I was like, looking at it, I noticed they were standing in front of the car. And I was like, what happened to the car? Did someone scratch the car? Did someone key the car? And I noticed there was a bumblebee hanging from the mirror.
Oh, no.
And I was like, where the hell did a bumblebee come from? And I happened to look down, and it went from an automatic to stick. It's like, when did he learn how to drive? I'm in the wrong car.
Nice.
At the same time I woke up, my brother's yelling at me, you're in the wrong car.
Oh, man. Good going, Keith. Nice job.
Yeah, you really think this is funny. Did he ever get punched in the face while taking a shit?
I can't say that I have.
It never happened to me, but for my brother. 2 funny stories I always remember of him. Let me rephrase it. He's not dead, but when I think about it, that's he went to Plattsburgh. He had his apartment. And so happened to use the bathrooms near the sidewalk. so it doesn't have a screen. So anyone in the whole neighborhood can walk past the bathroom window while on the sidewalk. Don't ask me why. There could have been a screen, but I don't know what happened to that. So his friend was walking past the screen. Noticed his friend was on the toilet seat. Thought about it. Walked backwards, and as his friend was going like this, he reaches in for the open window and punches somebody in the face.
Oh my gosh. Man. Nice.
The other funny story is, it's a little racist, but, it's still funny. You can't take that stuff seriously. There's this, I don't know if you heard about this, African-American wrestler named Booker T.
I haven't heard of him.
And he was in this match, and my brother went to a TNA event. And Booker T was in a ring with Robert Roode or some person. And as they grappled up, he yells out, "Booker T! Hey, Booker T! You can't read!"
Oh no.
And I swear to God, both of them stopped dead in the match. And they were looking around, it's like, who the fuck said that?
Oh, man.
And then the funny part was, his friend said, "Okay, I have to use the bathroom." And this is like later on in the show. Guess who he was taking a piss next to?
Booker T?
Yep, he was looking for the person.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Let's see, what was the other funny? Let's see. Now, there's a bunch of other ones. That's stupid funny. Just trying to think of one. But, stuff like that, Now, for the next question I was going to ask you is, what do you think your career holds for you next? Do you prefer just being a main star, secondary star? Or do you think you want to be like a voiceover actor?
It's funny. I just got into voiceover last year. So it was last year? I think... I don't remember. Last year or the year before last. It was really soon. It wasn't that long ago. Maybe like a year and a half ago. That sounds about right. So I just got into that, and I really enjoy it. It's really fun, and I've been learning a lot, and it's opened a lot of doors, which is nice. So I love doing that. But I definitely love being in front of the camera more. It's definitely a lot more fun, and it's I just really enjoy doing that. But as far as what my career holds, hopefully a lot more TV this year. I did some stuff last year on some soaps, which was fun. But so I'm hoping to get it started early this year and start booking a lot of television stuff again. So get in front of the camera, which is always fun.
All right, well, wrapping up, do you have anything you want to say to your fans and listeners out there?
Okay, oh boy, yeah. Well, my fans would probably include my mother and my my wife and a handful of friends. So hi, guys. Other than that, I don't know. 2015 is going to be an awesome year. So looking forward to it.